Peoples, Mr. Anomaly, coming at you again. Coming at you with a good one, man. This is a good one. I was listening to this when I was working out, and I said I got to come home and just add my spin on it. More imprint talk. Just did that video a few weeks ago, that immaculate video, the modern day woman cannot pair bond to you. This isn't going to be for the faint of heart. Let those brave souls that want to go down the rabbit hole and have who wants to receive, let he who receive. This isn't gonna apply if you're a non-spiritual person. Hell, some people don't even believe in the Most High, don't believe in all this. I say you're severely limiting yourself. This isn't gonna work this isn't gonna apply to you if you're a Deontay Wilder simp. You're lonely, you listen to let society dictate your self-worth. I said it before, I'll say it again. We're gonna get to it in a second. You know, the path that I'm walking, this stuff resonates with me. I've always known my whole life. I just didn't know what it was. So now I have a platform to voice my opinion and share with some of the younger guys who might be anomalies, if you will, not led by the lower area. We live in a society where it's hookup culture and, you know, humanity are a bunch of hornballs, and that's how we procreate. But me personally, I've always been more reserved, more on the spiritual side. Even when I was younger, I've always been able to have a strong spider sense. So stuff like this resonates with me. The imprint, women who walk a certain path tethered to certain individuals, Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez's, and your Pookies. There's no turning back from that once they do this. And like I said again, if you're Deontay Wilder type man, which a lot of guys are,
like water, like plants need water. We need each other. We need that affection, that physical touch, that affirmation from each other. We need that confirmation, that feeling of you love me and I love you, and I ain't loving you. You don't have the same equal amount of love. We need that energy, being on the same frequency with each other.
That's where you love. Yep. You can't do it, bro. That dude said like plants needs water. Think about what he just said, like plants need water. Without that, you're going to wither and die away. A lot of men have that mentality. They live in a society that how dare you? Oh, you need a woman to value your manhood. That's the society we live in. So if you're a man, things like that, you're not going to try to hear this. And like our girl so eloquently stated right here, we're going to get to it in a second. I'm setting it up.
And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have, particularly as she becomes more beautiful, or if she is beautiful, she loses all her naivety about men. Whereas men, no matter how rich they get, they don't lose their naivety about women. They want to believe every word she says. They're simple. They'll believe what you tell them, not what you show them.
They'll believe what you tell them, not what you show them. This is a lot of men. Deontay Wilders, dudes like this, the verbiage, not actions. Actions. That's what we're going to get to with the imprint. You judge her by the actions. I judge her by the whack-ass dude she let up inside her. That's why I talk so harshly, because there ain't nothing you can do, especially the path I'm walking. I'm not trying to tether to that. I'll just die alone in the desert. And again, there's no anger here. There's no bitterness. Again, we're not coming from that position. I know the normie's going to come in here and say that. Nobody's upset. Nobody's envious of you people. Nobody's coming from a place of anger and frustration. We are here. Revelations 14:8. I'm going to do another video on that. Babylon has fallen. Too many Potiphars and Ahabs in power. Here we go, man. We're going to get to it here. Shout out to PG, Ron Wells, and Master T. This is good stuff, man. Here we go.
Okay.
Alright, this is our June webinar. We have the Honorable Pimp God here, clocking her shadow side. He's going to go deep into the woman's shadow side. It's very important when you understand these women out here, these females out here, whatever you want to call them. Why they might, you might think you that good man, but they messing with that demonic dude, or that crazy dude, that chaotic dude. But after Pimp God explains everything, you can understand why. So without further ado, take it away, Pimp God.
Okay, all right. Okay, so in dealing with this, I want to start with the esoteric phrase that we've all heard before, which is when the student knocks, the teacher will appear. Okay? We have to understand that Neo in the Matrix only found Morpheus, right? Because he was looking for him. So, before we examine the deeper levels of the shadow side, right, of any woman, men must make sure that they are not trying to perform what I call a reverse matrix. So a reverse matrix is when you look at the movie The Matrix, Neo found Morpheus because he was searching for him. But if you think about like Dr. Sabi, right? And you think about Lisa Left Eye Lopez, when she knew that she needed some healing, she went to him and got the healing that she needed. What you're not supposed to do just because you get knowledge or you start studying Tantra or you start getting, information and maybe even develop some powers in certain ways, you have to look first at the person that you are trying to heal and determine whether or not you're trying to perform a reverse matrix. In other words, Morpheus or the Christ figure, they don't go door to door knocking on people's doors with tracts and saying, hey, do you need a healing? Anybody up in there need a healing? The person has to be actively involved in trying to be healed. And there was a song where
That's the thing, I like that, because like I said again, I just put it out there, let he who receive. It'll find who it needs to. If you don't have ears to hear, then that's so be it. Oh, nobody cares about a woman sleeping around, all that. Yo, simp ass don't. That was either a woman or a simp ass dude. And what we already established, there's not really much of a difference. You got too many dudes on the same frequency as these women out here nowadays too. So it was either a woman that said that, or it was a simp ass dude. And if it was a simp ass dude, I guarantee you, you're more than likely single. And more than likely, if you do end up with one, you're gonna be one of these gumps in a freaking open marriage because you're a simp. Let he who receive, man. Like I said again, I've always been on that frequency, so stuff like this resonates with me. That's why I came across this channel. That's why y'all are here. Those you've been listening, especially if you ain't unsub, you've been listening to me. So evidently there is something in you that's curious. And like I said, all I can do is just give it to you from my own anecdotal experience, somebody who is not connected to this crap on a spiritual scale, on the outside looking in. Like I said, I've been in these streets. I've been around prostitutes putting in work. I'm 100% aware of the spirit that's out here. And the thing that tripped me out when I was younger is, like I said again, is because I sense it in so many women. So many women have that chaotic tetherness.
Wants to hear that.
How many women, as a percentage, would you say have been damaged?
I don't think I've ever met a single woman that hasn't been.
That's coming from a woman. I don't think I've ever met a single woman who hasn't been. You're not going to find that virtuous woman in Babylon, bro. If you're going to get involved, more than likely you're going to be getting one whose chaos has become her normal. And unfortunately, like I said again, I grew up in the community, so I can tell. Like I said again, I'm going to say about 90%, I think I'm lowballing that, are already out to lunch. She's been tethered to Pook in some form of fashion. Shitty ass music, sex, all that, man. So many of them have. The majority of them have, especially in the West. This ain't gonna hit everybody because, again, so many dudes are naive. A woman's words, not her actions, her words. That's why I just put it out there, man. Like, he who receive. Let's keep going.
It's like a little melody where they say, don't save her, she don't want to be saved. So the first thing that we need to do before we get too deep into the shadow stuff as far as a female is you need to understand, is this a person that's even trying to be healed? So
No, when it comes to that, no. This is why I'm so harsh on the imprint too. And finding Jeebus past 30, you out here in the streets, and then all of a sudden now you wanna, nope, that's not, no. That's coming from a position of it's not going the way that they intended, and now they want to try something else, what they should have been doing at the very start. Now you want to sit there and start getting all these demands. And now you know your worth after the fact, but it's too late. It's too late. You've already experienced that. Sure, the Most High will forgive you for your sins, but you still are stuck with those demons, that physicality, to become one flesh, to become one flesh. She's become one flesh with Ted Bundy, Pookie, Richard Ramirez. People get quiet when I talk about that. You want to know why I know it's a big deal? Because the society says it's not a big deal. Oh, it's just sex. You guys are overreacting. It doesn't mean anything. That's why I know it's a big deal. That's why generations are affected by this. Generations. That's why I know it's a big deal. Because we live in a society that tries to sugarcoat it and tries to shame you. And then on the flip side, a man who hasn't had sex said, oh my God, it takes balls mentioning that. Man, who gives a shit, bro? It don't take no balls. It really doesn't. What are you talking about? So many men base their self-worth on the almighty Jezebel. Babylon has fallen. Let's keep going.
My studies on hypnosis, there's an Arab dude that got in touch with me. He's a hypnotist. And he said that a lot of the stuff that I do in my work is actually hypnosis, but I don't know the terms. I don't even know what I'm doing. He said I'm kind of a natural. So I started studying some of the stuff that, where the actual terms are broken down about different things. And one of the things that he said is that in order to be a good hypnotist, you first have to become a good subject. Meaning you have to put yourself in the shoes of the client, the person being hypnotized, and be able to be receptive to the energy and the suggestions that's taking you to a certain place. So you have to first be a good subject in order to work with a subject. And so the first thing that I want to deal with is the person that you are trying to understand better, are they a good subject? Because they may not want to be healed. They may be past a certain point where they can be healed. I don't know. BGS, you still here, right? Okay, well.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. There was a book written by Napoleon Hill.
Think and Grow Rich.
Not that one. It was called Interview with the Devil, Outwitting the Devil.
Okay.
Have you read that one?
I've never read that one.
If you haven't check this out. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend reading that. If you haven't checked out that Outwitting the Devil, man, that's some good stuff.
Okay. Well, in that book, he talks about something called hypnotic rhythm. And hypnotic rhythm, according to Napoleon Hill, is when at a certain point in a person's life, the universe, in a sense, takes a fingerprint consciously and I guess you could say spiritually of where a person is by a certain time. And if they're not actively in the process of evolving by a certain time in their journey, then the universe takes almost like a fingerprint of where they are at that time. And then the rest of their lives is actually sort of played out almost like a Twilight Zone. And so he calls it hypnotic rhythm. And I argue that a lot of females, we're talking about, a female being a good subject. A lot of females are probably, that hypnotic rhythm, I think, sets in as early as like 23. Somewhere between 23 and 25. Like I read something one time that said if by 25 you meet a chick and she's complaining about her past like incessantly,
right,
it's because she's already signed a contract with that environment. And so in other words, she's sort of stuck in a certain hypnotic rhythm that she probably won't have the will to actually break out of. I didn't know if you ever heard of anything like that before.
I've heard that something similar. Carolyn Mays calls it basically, I identifying with your wounds, identifying with your trauma. They call it identifying with your trauma. Okay, where your personality, because you get so much sympathy and so many kind of emotional rewards for embracing it, right? And the universe rewards you for it, right? You refuse to give up your trauma, your past, and you complain because you get an emotional reward for it. So she calls it woundology. I speak in my wounds. I'm constantly complaining about the guys I've just messed around with me. I've been abused as a child, blah, on and on and on. They start identifying with their wounds. And
we live in that society. I agree with this. That's all part of the dopamine rush too, the highs and lows. And some women just the situationships. The 3 months, what is it, about 3 months on average for most of them, they on cloud nine with the romance, with the chaotic individual, and then come crashing down hard. And then they just keep looping that. That's why I said past 25, 28, in your 30s, I ain't going back and forth. It's pointless. That's why I keep playing the same clips right here.
I'm fucking done. I am done begging him to love me. Done begging him to spend time with me. Like, I swear, some of us women have more balls than you coward-ass men. You take good women and you fucking break us down till we can't take no more, till every man we see makes us want to vomit.
That's a high, guys. See, this ain't gonna be for normies right there. That's a high. She's getting off on that. Don't get that shit twisted. Who gets on TikTok and let me hold up, let me. Okay, I'm ready. You take good women and you fucking break us down. This is real. She's addicted to that shit, and you don't turn that off. You don't ever turn that off. The highs and lows, the dopamine rushes of the sex, the dopamine rushes of the new bodies, the situationships. Most of them about 2 to 3 months on average, and then it comes crashing down, and then I hate men, and then I do it again, and then I keep doing it until I'm in my 30s, and then I get called an asshole for telling men to avoid. We have society, everybody else backing them. Oh, it's okay, girl. Oh, it's okay. And you got sent men and all that. Oh my gosh, these bad men. Oh my gosh, you're such an innocent victim. Just feeding into it. This is all part of the chaotic imprint too, by the way. They're going to get into it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just thought about that. Yeah. You beat yourself up because you love it. Be careful. You can't do nothing with this, man. You can't do nothing with that. Past a certain age, the imprint is real. The universe stamps it. Ain't nobody arguing 28, 30. This day and age, man, we're past that, man. Only gumps are going back and forth. There's no turning back. That is the chaotic imprint. Chaos has become her normal. We got that clip right. I ain't played it in a while. Chaos has become her normal. And then telling you to get a guy who you wouldn't get in your younger years. Well, I tell you, man, we are here. Just make sure you're not that guy. There are going to be plenty of gumps that's going to fall for it. Just make sure you're not that guy.
Most women do this.
Yeah. So he refers to it as hypnotic rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I wanted to say, don't cast your 4 archetypes as a man if you developed yourself into a superior man or in the process of. Don't cast them before swine. In other words, look at the subject and determine whether or not this person is open to what you're trying to, help her to evolve into.
And most won't. So dude say, you ain't gonna get no woman talking like that. I'm not gonna get no Babylonian woman. I'm not gonna get no Babylonian woman trying to tell them what they want to hear to keep them happy. Most aren't gonna receive this. Like my girl said, she's been damaged by the masculine. She ain't trying to hear this. And nobody's trying to attract the woman of the world anyway, long term. And if you're trying to clap cheeks, I don't even know why you're listening. Let's keep going, because they're gonna.
Okay, here's another thought. I saw a video, and in fact, I actually screen recorded it. It was a young black chick that was happily eating shit directly out of the asshole of an Arab man and swallowing.
Mm-hmm.
And and then he busts, in our mouth, etc., etc. But when you look at a female, before we even get deeper into the shadow stuff, is she a good subject for degradation more than healing? Because a lot of women, they make themselves available to be degraded or abused or continue these cycles.
People don't want to have this conversation. Yep, it's not an accident. A lot of these women be in these chaotic loops. It's not an accident.
And you need to start looking at, what she makes herself available for before you try to come in with a different program.
Actions, not words, actions.
And in a lot of ways, I hate to say this, but especially with our women, I wonder if a lot of these other races of men see our women better than we do.
Think about that. I don't think he's wrong there. A lot of other races, that was good shit.
Especially with our women, I wonder if a lot of these other races of men see our women better than we do.
Because you got Deontay Wilder simps up here trying to win these women over who've been in the streets. Hell, what is it? 9 to 5 niggas is lame. I love convicts. And dudes will mold themselves. And we're going there. Dudes will mold themselves to try to appease this chaos. And I can tell on a spiritual scale if you're a man who does that too. A lot of men will mold themselves to try to win that chaotic spirit over. Other races of men see it. But for whatever reason, we got gumps like Deontay Wilder over here.
Each other just like water. Less like plants need water. We need each other. We need that affection, that physical touch, that affirmation from each other. We need that confirmation, that feeling of you love me and I love you, and I ain't loving you. You don't have the same equal amount of love. We need that energy.
God, that dude's a simp. And he's doing that to a Jezebel that's been in the streets, has been ran through by 50, been ran through by other entertainers, and he talking like that. He talking like that, bro. I'm telling you, man, a lot of guys got that.
He ruled the world. Ain't gonna be able to do it like that. But we need y'all. We need you now. Come on, you're very important.
Y'all know how relationships
We need
work, right?
you.
Relationships work.
Girl.
God dang, that dude's a simp. That shit be pissing me off after I hear it so much, man. Listen how much he said he needs her. Again, what is he? The Jezebel, bro? And did she talk like that to him? Did she say once in that whole interview that she remotely needs him? That dude said about 11 times. She didn't say anything about needing him, not once in that whole entire segment.
They will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have, particularly as she becomes more beautiful. Or if she is beautiful, she loses all her naivety about men.
She loses all her naivety about men. This girl that Deontay Wilder talking about we need, she is not naive. She lost all her naivety. This gump still on some romance shit.
Whereas men, no matter how rich they get, they don't lose their naivety about women. They want to believe every word she says.
So many men, y'all. So many men. So many men.
The porter potties, the ghetto gaggers, the things that a lot of these other cultures do to our women, we're trying to come in as heroes.
We need you, girl. We need you. I need you. Very important. You're very important. Jesus Christ.
And they make themselves available for this degradation, you know, and I think it's because a lot of them have become used to that level of, treatment, whereas we're trying to introduce them to something else. And so, we really need to, pay close attention to that before we, start trying to heal them.
And, you know, like I said, again, that's just with our women. But again, you got Ted Bundy in the white community. Again, our girl writes so eloquently stated.
I don't know what it's like to be in the presence of a real man, a leader, somebody that you know is going to protect you.
She's been a cum dump to Ted. She's a cum dump to Ted Bundy. He views her as a cum dump. Then you're going to have some gump that's going to try to swoop in and try to, oh no, you're a beautiful princess. And try, no, bro. Nope. There's nothing you can do. There is nothing you can do. This is why I keep playing the same damn clips. You're going to get in a relationship with those women. You're going to marry those women. You're going to put babies in those women, and you will pay. You will pay, bro. Where my girl at? Where my girl at?
I do this for the excitement of it all. When I'm out doing these things, I completely block out being a wife, being a mother. It's just completely gone in my mind.
Nothing you can say, nothing you can do.
Nice guy who the woman isn't attracted to and who she never considered being with finally wore her the down until she said, ugh, fine, I guess. Because the attractive ones are putting me into a crazy, anxious cycle. Because the attractive ones are putting me into a crazy, anxious cycle. Because the attractive ones are putting me into a crazy, anxious cycle.
So the Ted Bundys are using her as a cum dump, which she knows this. Again, that's the chaotic loops he's talking about, situationships until your 30s, the imprint of chaos, until finally the nice guy wears you the F down, a cum bump, a cum dump, a concubine of the streets. And then you're going to take her seriously. We need you. I need you. You're very important. Like a plant needs water. I'm going to wither away if I don't get that.
And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled.
They're telling y'all, I'm just connecting the dots. They're telling y'all, this is coming from women. They're telling you. And again, we've already established that our girl right here.
Will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have.
Yep, even Coach confirmed that, because Coach talks about the shadow side too. And he said he had to go to his private chat because there's so many dudes that just, oh, you're lying, oh my God, you're lying. I've been telling you gumps out there, now these are for the Deontay Wilder people who aren't listening. A lot of these girls be active at 11, 12 years old, already active. Y'all don't like having that conversation. And then she's 25, 28 years old, she's already a veteran. And then you try to treat her like a virgin princess. How's that working out for most dudes? This space wouldn't exist. If it was working out for the majority of men, this space wouldn't exist. Evidently, it's not working out for most men. What type of society do we live in? We live in a godless society that says it's just sex. I told you, man, we connected the dots. This stuff resonates with me. And I told you, somebody's going left, everybody going right. I haven't uploaded yet. I'm probably going to upload this one first. You know, not tethering to this chaotic stuff. These dudes who mold themselves just to get laid, man. I'm not dipping my dick. I'm not taking a dip in that pond. I'm good, bro. Actually having men getting mad at me, men who sell their souls. Misery loves company, actually mean mugging me because I won't partake in this shit. I'm actually passing up on these women. I've been nuts. I can't believe these dudes up here mad. Well, I could. Because how dare you, again, like that, the blue collar brother, the balloon popper, how dare you know your worth as a man? Oh, don't, you're not kowtowing to the mighty Jezebel? Please, let's keep
going. As we know, right, all women wear masks in the beginning of a relationship. So whatever she says that she wants in a man or relationship, right, her shadow may want the exact opposite.
Sounds good on paper. Oh, I'm tired of the streets. I'm ready for a good man now. Get you a nerd. Get you a guy who's not out there like that. That sounds good on paper, but the imprint is going the other way.
Okay. Now here's the key to understanding, and now we're starting to peel back the layers of the shadow. Her past relationship experiences will give you a clue to what she actually wants.
Like it kills you to see your wife or your girlfriend happy. You have shit on that. Like, you men and your mommy issues. We are not your fucking enemy.
Or how about this one? Here we go. How about this one?
I be wanting to do things with like my person, and you know, cause I don't really hang with too many people. But it's just like at my grown age, and when I say that, cause people don't believe my age, but I'll be 40 like literally next week.
This woman's in her 40s now. Somebody got some. You're older than dirt. Kiss my black ass. I'm a guy who takes care of myself. You can suck bobos. We're not the same. We're not the same. This woman is 40, still hoping that the man, the chaotic individual who has her imprint, who has her, who she's married to, she's still holding out hope that this dude is going to look at her and take her seriously at 40. I talked through him. I ain't got nothing to say. I have nothing to say.
And it's like, y'all men don't get tired of playing games, don't get tired of lying, juggling multiple females.
You heard what type of guy she likes, right? You heard what type of guy she likes, right?
Don't get tired of playing games, don't get tired of lying, juggling multiple females.
One more
Get
for you.
tired of playing games, don't get tired of lying, juggling multiple females.
Actions, 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 not words. You heard the type of guy that she dealt with. Did that video with the brat, Allen Iverson. You saw who she was attracted to. That's who gets the cooter wet. Nobody's trying to change women, by the way. You ladies, I love it. Hey, y'all go right on ahead, ladies. Again, the whole spiritual thing, I can eyeball most women, especially not having sex. I told you, we're tapping into this. Y'all don't listen to society and think that that's a negative and look at it as a weakness. That's actually a strength. And I'm tapping into it. I was told it's like a shonen anime over here. I'm like in a hyperbolic timetable. I'm just unlocking all kinds of passive skill trees. Those who've been following me for a long time, I'm not the same person. I ain't the same person I was when I first started doing these videos. And the funny thing is, I've been literally saying the same thing since day one. I just didn't really know how to articulate it like that. But we here now. We're gonna keep growing. I can eyeball most of these women, bro. It's easy. And the sad part is, there's just so many of them that have already been tainted by the streets. Nobody's trying to change women. You go out there, hey, do you, man. Just don't be trying to come around here and talk about you're reformed. No, no, no. Your shadow side says otherwise. Don't believe me? This is why I play this clip all the time.
That because God took away my desire for promiscuity and all that stuff, that I didn't have a desire anymore, even like for my husband. And although my husband and I would have sex, it was like really hard for me. Like I really had to push myself to go there.
It's good on paper. God forgives you, but your shadow side says otherwise. You still have to deal with the demons of your past. This is a Christian woman, by the way, who went up in the church. She's reformed now. And we already established, you Christian simps out there. She gets up there and says that verbal verbiage, that word salad. I'm formed now, I'm baptized in the name of the Lamb and all that shit, and you guys be buying that crap. Oh, praise the Lord, she's changed. I have to push myself to go there. The shadow side trumps all. The men that she really wants will never take her seriously. Now she's with this sap over here who's married to her, who she has to push herself to have sex with. That's why I keep playing these clips, bro. I told you, I've been vindicated. We just looping it, Mr. Fundamentals. We're going to loop it again in the future. The clips are going to keep piling up because most of these people aren't doing anything unique out here. There is nothing new under the sun. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying this. We're not doing anything but a repeat. Time is a flat circle. How many times have we been this? How many times have we been doing this? Talking this crap now, was talking this crap when we were in Atlantis, was talking this crap when we were probably up in the air, and we're talking this crap now. How many times have we been here already? Well, I told you, this ain't for the faint of heart, bro. This ain't for the normies, man.
Not what she says. Layers of the shadow. Her past relationship experiences will give you a clue to what she actually wants, not what she says. And that's why the first thing that a lot of pimps do when they get with a woman is they dig into her past, as far back as her memory can take them, so that they can piece together the puzzle and begin to see the missing picture of what they actually have. Because a lot of women, they say out of their mouth that they want a certain thing, but they may actually want another. And one of the things that in that book, Outwitting the Devil, the malevolence was in a sense interviewed by Napoleon Hill and asked all these different questions. And one of the things that the malevolence said is that love, this concept of love, is one of the key things that's used to cause men to become what he calls drifters.
Love. The concept of love. The prawn hub of love.
Just like water, just like plants need water, we need each other.
Plants need water. Think about that, what he just said for a second. If a plant doesn't get water, it's going to wither and die away. This dude says we need that like plants need water. This is a lot of men right here too, by the way. Don't project that weak shit onto me. And I can tell you a couple or three things by posting the space. I deliberately keep talking about not having sex because I like to freaking get the normies rattled. And y'all want to project that crap onto me thinking I think like you. I ain't never been a hornball like that. Even when I was younger, I've always had the mental and spiritual. I've always been able to pull them back. Let me just dive right in. Never been like that, man. And y'all can imagine now that we on some got grays and we on some sage mode wizard stuff over here.
People damn talking about you don't need nobody. We need each other just like water. Just like plants need water. We need each other. We need that affection, that physical touch, that affirmation from each other. We need that confirmation, that feeling of you love me and I love you, and I ain't loving you. You don't have the same equal amount of love. We need that energy, being on the same frequency with each other.
But I was talking about the need for.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I mean, listen to this guy, bro.
Each other, y'all will break apart. But we need y'all. We need you now. Come on, you're very important.
Y'all know how relationships
work, right?
You. Relationships work.
Girl.
Relationships.
We need you. We need you, girl. I need you. And actually filed a restraining order on this. That's how they get you. Television, movies, romance. It's prawn hub. That's how they get most dudes, man. That's how they get most dudes. And look, hold on. What she telling him right here at the very end?
Work when it ends. Where the compromise starts. When you say, you know what, babe? You right.
The relationship ends when the compromise starts. She said that in front of this guy, and he's so just enamored with her quote-unquote beauty, it just went right over his head. It just went right over his head, bro. Our girl right here.
They will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it.
No matter what the evidence shows, they will still believe it. This woman said all kinds of shit in that 2-minute interview. I was like, red flag, 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 red flag. And this gump just completely, he didn't even see it. That 2-minute interview told me everything I need to know about that woman. And this dude put babies in her.
Such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have, particularly as she becomes more beautiful, or if she is beautiful, she loses all her naivety about men.
Well, I tell you, man, we're here, man.
Where he gets them off of the path of their purpose and journey because somewhere along the way they got sidetracked by this thing called love. And so we really need to pay attention to her past experiences because that's going to tell you, largely what her shadow, self is probably used to, the type of murky waters that she's used to experiencing.
That's why I say if you don't get involved, man, if you're not a guy who she would probably mess with in her younger years, you probably shouldn't get involved with her. There's no shame in that. Just own it, bro. If you're not out there. And again, you got women out here telling other women to go after dudes who don't even match their imprint.
You give him a chance, girl. When you find a
It's been
guy
a minute.
that seems a little boring to you, and maybe you don't have all these butterflies, that's a really good sign. Here's why. Because a lot of single moms like you and I are used to toxic relationships. That became our normal.
Toxic relationships became our normal. She's literally telling you right here. And she's a coach, by the way, for those of you that got smoked from me. She's a coach. She's a dating coach giving relationship advice for those of you that got smoked from me. And she's literally telling y'all right here. She's telling you her track history of chaos.
So when you butterflies, that's a really good sign. Here's why. Because a lot of single moms like you and I are used to toxic relationships. That became our normal. So when you meet a good man and you're like, nah, but he's a good guy, he's like a good dad, he's a good human, he's got a good job, like, I don't know, I just don't feel butterflies. This is good. Butterflies are a bad sign.
After she's been throttled by Ted Bundy, stretched out in the streets, used as a cum dump, now she's ready for you, bro. Y'all better move accordingly out here, man.
If you have butterflies instantly, someone's trying to love bomb you. That's not good. The real butterflies are peace. Do you feel peace when you're with this man? Then keep dating him. Give him a chance. He will show you that he's not boring.
It's too late. It's too late. See, that verbiage sounds good on paper, but her shadow side's gonna rear its ugly head. What's that quote? A real villain is a villain that doesn't realize that they're a villain. They don't. It sounds good on paper. It does. It sounds great on paper. I'm going to stop getting Nazi Ted Bundy bikers. I'm going to go for the boring, safe guy.
That because God took away my desire for promiscuity and all that stuff, that I didn't have a desire anymore, even like for my husband. And although my husband and I would have sex, it was like really hard for me. Like I really had to push myself to go there.
I realized that in that relationship and in so many of the relationships I had previously where I cheated on partners, it was because I didn't know how to advocate for myself and what I needed in an intimate space. And so I became really bored and tired of just pleasing my partner all the time. And so I became really bored and tired of just pleasing my partner all the time. And so I became really bored and tired of just pleasing my partner all the time.
Are y'all getting it yet, or are we getting it yet? I mean, what are we doing over here, man?
Cycle. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled. Cycle. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled.
Are y'all seeing it yet? Or are you these naive guys that my girl's talking about right here?
They will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have, particularly as she becomes more beautiful.
I told you, I've been connecting dots. You can't follow me. You ain't changed on a neurological scale.
So a lot of times what I see is that women are expressing my emotional needs are not met, aka their attachment needs, and I physically cannot get turned on by my partner anymore. In fact, they start to get disgusted, like they get the ick, so majorly bad.
Why? Why can't they get turned on by their partner, class? Why? It sounds good on paper, right? Get a nice guy, yeah, that sounds good on paper, but her shadow side says otherwise. We live in a society that shames you for, oh, it's just sex, you guys are insecure,
Operated with an emergency breakthrough from your sister. Samson and Sheila, Mama failed. Shut up, bitch!
Shut up, bitch! That's how they get most of y'all out there. It doesn't matter. You guys are insecure and all that. The society says it's not a big deal. That's how come I know it's a big deal. And again, y'all can't tell me shit when it comes to this. Because like I said before, I'll say it again. I've been in the shadow world. I've been around prostitutes putting in work. I'm all too familiar with that spirit. I was right dab in the middle of it. Running trains, doing drugs, right stab in the middle of it. Y'all can't tell me a goddamn thing. I'm 100% aware of that spirit. And for those of you that may not be, y'all may not be aware of that, listen to your spider sense. Your gut's gonna warn you about women who do that, and men too. Men who mold themselves. It's a shitty, shitty spirit I don't want nothing to do with. I'm glad I was around it, because I can sense it on people. Y'all can't tell me a goddamn. When it comes to this, nah. The whole not having sex thing too, I'm very sensitive to it too. I can spot them a mile away. This stuff is real. This is real. Hey man, you don't believe, unfollow me. I don't give a damn, bro. I'm living this, man. Real talk, man.
And could you open up your body and allow someone to like penetrate your being if you feel disgusted by them? They feel like they're violating themselves and someone is violating them.
Don't feel like you're being violated when Ted is stretching you out though. When Ted Bundy's stretching you out, skeeting on you, pissing on you, shitting on you. You don't feel violated then, do you? But you feel violated with the dude who's up there crossing the T and dotting their I's and trying to be nice to your dumbass. Woe to the man that does that. Again, don't be one of these naive gumps that goes with the verbiage. The freaking, oh, I'm not like that. Don't be that guy. And again, a lot of guys are gonna fall for that. Okay, a lot of people don't even believe this. Hell, most dudes don't even believe. A lot of them don't even believe in God and stuff like that, man. So again, a lot of dudes are gonna be lost in the sauce. Just make sure you're not one of them.
And that'll give you a clue. Now, love for you and love for her might be two totally different things. There was a chick that I dealt with who had borderline personality disorder. And she told me that her first sexual experience was by an absolute stranger when she was around 15. She was walking home way late, walking through a dark park that was really closed. And it was a guy, I guess, supposedly that was in the bushes or something, and he raped her.
Damn.
She went on to tell me, though, that she had been raped so many times in life since that time that she lost count. And when I would talk to her about her experiences, she told me that, you know, without saying it, but just in her explanation, she used to put herself in so many situations that would be, you know, pregnant with some form of abuse. And so this is an example of what her past experiences and relationship experiences are. This will give you an insight into not what she says, but what she's actually used to.
Actions, man. Actions. Subconsciously kept putting herself in chaotic situations. Heard that all too often. Dudes get involved with a woman. He's not abusive. He's not physically abusive, but he gets involved with her. Next thing you know, domestic disputes. Hell, if you haven't watched it yet, do a search on my channel for Edward Furlong. I talked about this. That was a great video too, by the way. Edward Furlong, the young guy who played in Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it, man. The reason why I talked about this is he was 13 years old at this time. He was a cash cow. He was hot in Hollywood. They had an older woman. She was 27, 28 years old. She was grooming him. She was like his tutor. But she ended up having relations with him, and people completely ignored it. They knew what was going on, but they didn't say anything. She was 28, he was 13. And the reason why I say this is because he's young, he's naive. She's in the driver's seat of this relationship. She's in control of this relationship. Go back and watch the video. Within like 6 months, may have been a little bit longer, I think it was like 6 months, police is getting called for domestic violence. How's a 13-year-old boy going to be in a physical altercation with a grown-ass woman, and he's freaking naive. She had a cash cow. All she had to do was I'm not condoning this, all she had to do was put that hot box on him, get him sprung, and just tell him, do this, take that roll, take this roll, give me the money. And she literally had a clean slate who would have did whatever the fuck she wanted to. But she was so chaotic, she brought that onto him. And you go watch it if you haven't seen it. She ruined that kid's life, man. He just now is a grown-ass man recovering from that. He was just in a downward spiral. You can watch. It's sad. It's sad. Go back and watch it if you ain't watched it ever for long. And the normies don't see this shit because y'all a bunch of fucking normies. But she imprinted him with her chaos, and it was just a downward spiral. Drug abuse, in and out of jail. It was sad. She had a clean slate. There was no excuse. She was in the driver's seat. She was in the driver's seat of a relationship, and she fucking ruined it because of her imprint. Be careful. Her past does matter. Yeah, I'm insecure. Get the fuck off my channel. That don't work on me. They try to shame you. They try to shut you down whenever you ask questions and actually have some kind of, you stand for something. Just like that freaking, they canceled that dude, got him fired from his job because he actually stood on something. Oh, it's not how you said it. It's not what you said. It's how you said it. Get out of here. And that's the society we live in, man.
And so men, go ahead.
Now, Pimp God, I just wanted to really, I think everybody really needs to listen to what he said. And when you in this video, go back over it, because I knew a woman, her imprint was a gang rape. And from that moment, she would constantly put herself in a position where she'd be the only woman among a bunch of men.
Right.
And she was very open sexually in that manner.
Be wary, be very wary of women who be talking like this.
I'm fucking done. I am done. I am done begging a mother to love me. Done begging him to spend time with me. Like, I swear, some of us women have more balls than you coward-ass men.
Be very wary of women who are constantly talking like that. All men ain't shit. Every relationship I have in, every relationship I've been in is chaotic. Be wary of that. See, people don't want to have this conversation. Chaos becomes her normal.
Single moms like you and I are used to toxic relationships. That became our normal.
That's not an accident. That's not an accident. Move accordingly, bro. People don't want to have this conversation. Situationships until your 30s. Now you're ready to start acting right. You don't turn it off. You don't turn it off. And this is why they can get involved with you dudes. You can pop babies in them. They can put restraining orders on you. They can take your kids away. They can act like they never even knew you. You don't marry the same person you don't divorce the same person you married. Bullshit. She was there at the very start. You just didn't see it because you were acting like Deontay Wilder over here.
I do this for the excitement of it all. When I'm out doing these things, I completely block out being a wife, being a mother. It's just completely gone in my mind.
Don't take the sex force lightly, man. Do not take the misuse of the sex force lightly, bro.
Yeah, you did have to be a little bit rougher. What I noticed with her, I mean, she put herself in constant situations, and they weren't even rapes, but I would just say where she'd be like the only woman among a group of men.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah. I mean, you know, Pimp Guy probably could tell you, because he's an expert at this, tapping into her dark side, right?
Yeah.
You expose her to something, and they open her up to a dark something in her shadow, okay, that she likes. Yeah. And once she's exposed to it, she's gonna go back and seek it again. So she puts herself in a position to get the same thing because.
Okay, I gotta find it on the fly, guys, because that just made me think of this video. Oh, here it is. I'm glad I already had it up.
30 years old, and I've been with my partner for 10 years. We met in uni and we have 2 beautiful children. I've always had a low sex drive, and it sometimes bothers my partner. He communicates this to me. I try and improve, but we go back to square one again. On average, we have sex twice a week, and he initiates at 9.
I don't just be playing these clips, y'all. I'm connecting the dots over here. That's listen at her.
5% of the time, twice a week. That's not bad, you know. A few years ago, we had a rocky patch and broke up for 4 weeks. We were still under the same roof, but hardly spoke. During this time, I felt lonely, and I reached out to the other person I've been with before my first ever boyfriend.
Always remember, you ain't first, you're last.
I spent almost every day with my ex, and the sex was the best I've ever had in my life.
Why don't you go and
Suddenly
complicate your
the
life?
drive is
It's
higher.
not a sex drive.
It's not the drive.
The drive is not the problem.
The drive is driving.
It's the car. The drive is not the problem, it's the life.
I suddenly became the horniest version of myself.
Of course you did.
Suddenly became the horniest version of myself.
Of course.
Suddenly became the horniest version of myself.
You can't be following me and you ain't getting it yet. Are you getting it yet? Are you winning, son? There's no hatred here. I've always known this. I've always been connected. As I told you, I was MGTOW before it was a style. That's why I don't claim shit. I've always been MGTOW. Why you guys think I went monk mode? I don't want that sexual demon. I ain't never really wanted sex like that. And the path that I'm walking now, why would I start now? This guy can never clap no cheeks. Okay, I'm okay with that. I have no problems going into the next round with that under my belt. None whatsoever. That's why I don't fear death. I don't care. And what more do you want? And again, we already established, like my girl so eloquently stated.
So they will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have.
What she did? He was single, so had no problem with temporary casual sex. As me and my partner reconciled, I let my ex know and we cut things off. Please help me, ladies. I do not want to be with my ex. That is clear to me. I love my man, but how do I desire him in the same raunchy way?
You can't.
Libido is so low, but not when I was sleeping with my ex.
You can't. You can't. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do. Put her ass through the uprights. It's over. It's over. How do I desire my husband the same way I desire my ex in that raunchy way? You can't. Again, sounds good on paper, but her shadow side is saying something completely different. She has been the horniest. She has been the horniest version of herself, but not when she was with her husband.
Because God took away my desire for promiscuity and all that stuff, that I didn't have a desire anymore, even like for my husband. And although my husband and I would have sex, it was like really hard for me. Like I really had to push myself to go there.
Damn, I'm cooking on this one. The PG video is only 19 minutes. I got an hour out of this. We're here, y'all. What do y'all want from me? You want some Disney romance? That's why I keep telling you, rejection from the Jezebel is protection from the Most High. Because now y'all getting this information. I didn't have this in my 20s. Now y'all getting this information out here. Move accordingly.
That's what she desires, okay?
Exactly. That's what it was with this one particular woman. Like her imprint, she couldn't even tell you who the first guy. It was a gang rape.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So it was like she would
enjoyed
keep
it.
going back. Yeah, and she would keep going back. And there was some I can't really give the exact situations, but it's like, wait a minute. That situation and that situation she put herself in, like I said, it was around a group of men.
Yep.
And she was giving herself to a couple of them freely, ostensibly freely, but really it wasn't free. It was part of her shadow.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying what you breaking down now, it's like, oh, okay, you seeing that from because I already saw it from an imprint point of view and knew why she had trouble with relationships.
Right.
But it's like you breaking it down from another angle and it's still the same thing. And that's why I said, anybody watching this, y'all need to rewind this, take notes, everything.
Hey, Professor, I ain't giving it to y'all too. Hey, we got an hour out of this, bro. Hey, y'all, but yeah, y'all better save my stuff. And again, seriously, because I mean, who knows how long this gonna last? They probably gonna eventually take all this stuff down. You're how it is, because we live in a freaking society with a bunch of simps, bunch of Potiphars and Ahabs in power, who are listening to the chaos. I'm gonna go in on Revelations 14:18. Babylon has fallen. Babylon has fallen, bro.
Yeah.
But we're gonna let you keep going because look, I'm gonna just say this part, then I'm gonna mute up again. You hitting us with some deep stuff. See, whenever you dealing with a woman, people can't figure out, well, why she with him or why she dealing with him. First, me and DGS have talked about the imprint, but then you got to see other stuff. It's like, okay, what was it about her that will go for this type of man or go for this type of situation?
And the sad part is, you got so many men out there that will try to be like the man who has her chaotic imprint. You lose, bro. And I can tell men who do that, especially in the black community. We need to try to become a Pookie or a Chad. You can't. You can't. You're a counterfeit Ted Bundy. You can't be Ted Bundy if it's not natural. That's why I say, who are you as an individual? Figure out who the hell you are and roll with that, man. It's gonna come off inauthentic, and she's gonna be able to tell. And she'll entertain you. She'll entertain you trying to be like a freaking convict, but that's not who you are. But so many men will try to mold their personalities. Hey, that's confirm what I've been saying. I've been saying that for years too, by the way. Men will sell their souls for sex. Y'all will sell your souls to get with these women who've been throttled by men who don't have to do any of that. Led by your lust, the hot box tunnel vision. And you will be punished accordingly. If you got to mold yourself and sell your soul and be something you're not to get involved with this, you lose. Good day, sir. I say just be yourself and let it happen organically. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a man on principle, a man on business, a man that who knows you are, especially on a spiritual scale, they are going to run from you. They are going to run from you, especially if she's tainted by the chaotic energies. She's going to run from you. And again, I told you, it's all come full circle. I get it now. He must be gay. He look like he dates white women. He think his shit don't stink because that crap don't work on me and nobody's trying to. I'm completely indifferent. I'm completely stoic. He must be gay. Nope, I see you coming a mile away. Gonna try to project that weak shit onto me. And then you freaking Deontay Wilder simps who are just like him gonna try to project your lust from women onto me. Talking about somebody coping and all that shit. Man, take your ass on somewhere, man. I told you, I've been connecting the dots, man. I've been posting this space a long time. Seen a lot of stupid comments from normies. I just put it out there for those of you that are free thinkers. You can learn from it. And y'all confirmed it too. A lot of y'all got brothers, cousins, fathers, friends. There's pointless going back and forth because a lot of them are going to be just like this. A lot of them have that same spirit.
Water, just like plants need water, we need each other.
Plants need water.
We need that affection, that physical touch, that affirmation from each other. We need that confirmation, that feeling of you love me and I love you, and I ain't loving you, you don't have the same equal amount of love. We need that energy, being on the same frequency with each other.
You can't. You're already lying to yourself. And that woman you talking to in that freaking interview wasn't there the whole time. That's why she filed a restraining order your ass. And again, there's so many men, just like our girl stated.
So they will still believe it. And no matter what the evidence shows them, they will still believe it. There's such a naivety towards women that men have that women just don't have.
She is not lying. There's pointless going back and forth with those types. I don't argue with them much. Y'all be seeing my comments, smiley face, take your ass on somewhere. Ain't nobody arguing with you people. I know I'm right. I told you, I'm in my spirit, I know I'm right. I'm living it, man.
Skip over this man who even in her own, well, her words would say, I want this man. But what her actions say, she wants something else.
I got to do it again, guys. I love being vindicated. I told you, I love hearing people that I respect saying the same stuff I've been saying.
That because God took away my desire for promiscuity and all that stuff, that I didn't have a desire anymore, even like for my husband. And although my husband and I would have sex, it was like really hard for me. Like I really had to push myself to go there.
The shadow side is rejecting him. Her shadow side is rejecting him. This stuff does matter. 28, 30 plus, there ain't nothing you can do. There ain't nothing you can do. And again, these women won't eat no crow and humble themselves. I just say avoid, avoid, avoid. Nothing you can do when she's been out there getting all the sausages. I haven't done that yet, so I had to go ahead and get that in.
It's like pay attention to the actions, but then if you look back, like if she's a woman you're dealing with and you can talk to her and get a good idea of what she's dealt with in the past, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
It makes sense. Yep. And they'll keep that thing going.
Exactly.
I remember something she used to do where the same chick, where 'cause she was fine. So a dude pulling over, even to pick her up, even though she was a stranger, wasn't something that was unusual. She was that fine. But she would be sometimes like when she wasn't driving, when she'd be late to work, she would actually flag down strangers to get her rides to work. But this was also a part of that kind of dynamic that she needed. That's why she been date raped so many times. And she always kept putting herself in circumstances and situations. I remember she said one time when she was younger. This was of course after her first, situation. She said 3 dudes, I think, rode up on her at a bus stop in a car. She gets in the car instead of waiting on the bus.
Yes.
And they ended up going to a hotel and they ran a train on them.
And that's what I'm talking about, the guys, man. And what about the guys? I go in on the dudes all the time. What kind of dude wants to 3 or 4v1 a woman? That's too much sausage for me. But dudes will do it. The Sahu man will do it, man. What kind of dude wants to run a train on a woman, bro? That's disgusting. But dudes will do it. Ain't nobody's trying to save society. It's beyond saving. They gonna do what they gonna do. But that always tripped me out, man. Why?
Yeah.
It's just that deep. It's just that deep.
That's a shadow. That's a shadow acting out.
Acting out. And then one time I told her about this time. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but where I punished this chick in a quite a, I guess you could say a pimpish type of way, and actually pissed on her. And as a punishment, and then I bust on top of that. But
what if it wasn't a punishment to her? What if she purposely did that because she knew how he was going to react, and she did that intentionally? See, people don't want to have that conversation. What if it wasn't a punishment? What if she wanted that? I heard a guy say he's out there in the streets, promiscuous, running through them. And he said one thing he likes to do is like with divorcees, he'll take them to Pound Town, like fuck them in the ass. Well, we getting vulgar on this one, grow up. He'd fuck them in the ass and kind of violate them as in a way to quote unquote punish them for doing their ex-husband dirty. And I got to thinking to myself, I was like, you're not punishing them, they're getting off on it. You think you're punishing them, but she's getting off on it. AMS used to say that he would have women that got out of pocket, he would have them eat his ass as punishment. What if they're not punishment? What if that's not punishment? What if she wants to do that? See, people don't want to have that conversation. This ain't for normies. Stuff gets real, don't it? This stuff gets real. The imprint's real out here, man. The chaotic imprint, the imprint of chaos, the loop of chaos. Move accordingly. Move accordingly. I can make the case that's not punishment to her.
I remember when I told her that story.
She got excited.
She told me later, she said that turned her on.
You knew it did because you felt it, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, it turned her on. And then I said, wow, it's probably all kinds of shit that I could have been doing with her, which also played into what sexual satisfaction would be to her. And a man needs to know whether or not he has the bandwidth to but we're gonna deal with that a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? Once you recognize what that is.
That's pretty much it. Hey, that was a 19-minute clip. I got an hour of this bitch. Hey man, do you have the bandwidth to handle that? That's why I keep telling you, if you're not a man that she might mess with when she was younger, you might want to leave her alone. Do you have the bandwidth to handle that? Not for everybody. Hey man, I told you, man, if you're still here, hey man, Professor A coming at you, bro. I told you I got an hour at that 19-minute clip, man. This stuff resonates with me, man. That's why I talk the way I talk. Nobody's trying to do it Babylon's way. I have no interest in doing it Babylon's way. I still be getting videos from that video about not being on a date in my 40s, man. Why? You don't have to. You don't have to. It is what it is, man. I am not doing it the worldly's way. And we live in a society, hookup culture. It's just sex. It don't matter. Yeah, it does matter. All this stuff matters. But this ain't gonna apply to the normies, and it's gonna apply to the Deontay Wilder simp men, dudes who go with the words. Oh, I'm not like that. Oh, okay, okay. It is what it is, man. But damn, we're about an hour 10. Mr. Anomaly, the movie over here. Hope you got something from it, man. I told you, I'm just putting it out there. Let he who receive. That's how you get in these relationships whenever the freaking imprint is the opposite of what they say.
When's the last time you felt sexually attracted to him?
Don't ask me that question.
When's the last time?
I don't want to answer that.
3 years and 9 months ago. Yeah?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, you do,
but
bitch.
It's been a while.
What is sex again? Oh, yeah. I watched Pornhub the other day. When I first met Michelle, I'm like, hey, I'm at the office. She's like, cool, I'm naked in front of the mirror. What are you doing now? I'm like, in the car. And then it turns into like, I'm too tired, or I haven't brushed my teeth, or I just got home from the gym.
And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled. And now that woman is bored and sexually unfulfilled.
What more do you want from me, man? And this is why I say, and my girl even confirmed it,
And the wife, the man should like the woman more. I always say it's so essential that the woman likes a man more than he likes her. Essential. And the reason I say that is when a woman likes a man more, because divorce is in her hands a bit more, men are relatively placid when it comes to relationships. They are relatively okay with monotony. They're okay if the relationship is not overexciting, they'll get by with it. Women are not like that. If they don't feel love, they don't feel consistency, they don't feel excitement, whatever, their emotions take over their judgment.
Their emotions take over their judgment. And I did that video a while back ago. Even Jordan Peters confirmed it. A lot of these women on birth control. And when they get off the pill, they hook up Mr. Safety Guy, get off the pill, pop out a couple of kids, their hormones start craving the man who her spirit, her shadow, her dark side is attracted to.
So a lot of times what I see is that women are expressing my emotional needs are not met, aka their attachment needs. And I physically cannot get turned on by my partner anymore. In fact, they start to get disgusted, like they get the ick, so majorly bad. And could you open up your body and allow someone to like penetrate your being if you feel disgusted by them? They feel like they're violating themselves and someone is violating them.
Operator with an emergency breakthrough from your sister. Samson and Sheila, Mama failed. Shut up, bitch.
That shit's funny. I don't care.
So when a woman loves a man more than he loves her, I'm not saying that's ideal, but the relationship lasts a lot longer because she's willing to fight through the rough times. But when a man likes a woman more than she likes him, he becomes emasculated. He loses his masculinity to please her. He becomes a people pleaser.
For you RPG nerds, she has to earn being with you because it increases your relationship stat. Nothing is absolute except monk mode, but if you're going to take a chance, I highly recommend that course of action. She has to prove being with you. She has to earn being with you because she's not going to be as inclined to end it whenever her emotional needs are not met. This ain't going to apply to everybody. I already know this. We got too many gumps out there. But hey, man, I think this is a good one. Drop a like if y'all like this, man. Help the boy out for the algorithm, man. I know I'm shadow banned, but hey, man, drop a smiley face, a comment, a thumbs up. I be smiley facing those stupid ass comments just for the algorithm. Drop a like, man, if y'all like this one, man. The milk's been spilled. The die has been cast. All you can do is move accordingly. If you're a Deontay Wilder simp, a man who ignores the past, ignores her actions, and you take her seriously after the fact, you're a winner! You're a winner! You're a winner! I'm out, good peoples. That's all I got. Laters.